Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second session of our monthly current affairs series, that is P Junction 360, and we are discussing the places in news. Right. So first, we'll have the places in news of international that are required, and then the Indian ones. And we are putting the timestamps in, so you can see the questions directly from the timestamps. Right. So first one is the Milne ice shelf. So because of the global warming, because of the climate change, we have seen last time also previous years that how many ice shelves are melting. We have seen a lot of ice shelves in Antarctica; those have been melting. But this time, an ice shelf is in the news. It is in Canada. So what you need to remember, is the name of the island, that is Ellesmere Island, and this ice shelf. This ice shelf has been lost. The around 40% has been lost in the over 2 days at the end of the July, in the warmest month, right? Northern Hemisphere. And it goes to show that how quickly the impact can come to the, especially to the ice shelves, right? And this is the animation of this ice shelf only. Very quickly it broke down. So large floating, what are ice shelves? So basically, obviously, they are the large floating piece of ice when the glacier or ice sheet flow into the sea surface. Then yes, it's in Canada only, right? So that's all. You don't have to remember the shelf name, right? Only this shelf is important, and the name of the island is important, and the location that is there in Canada. The next is Mount Sinabog. So basically, a volcanic eruption happened in Mount Sinabog. You have to know the location of it. So location is in Sumatra, within Sumatra, in between Sumatra. One thing you need to keep in mind, that I have always done in the past also, the location of this portion in the Southeast Asia is very critical. One time UPSC is asked the question about this Java and Sumatra. Basically, that can be solved from that only. So from closer to India, which is close to India, whether it is Java or Sumatra. So first is Sumatra, then is Java. First is Sumatra, then is Java. Okay. So there was a question we have discussed earlier, but now we'll discuss it again. So depending upon how the magma is, how the lava is from inside, right? Or sorry, how the magma, because magma is when it is inside and the lava when it is outside. So depending upon the quality of the magma depends how the explosion is gonna be, right? So when magma is running and thin, so the gases can escape easily when it flows too much. When it does not flow too much, when it is very thick and dense, the gases cannot escape it, which builds up the pressure inside, and the violent eruption happens. In your NCRTs also, you have been given the types of the classification of the volcano, so you can prepare from that also. Okay. You should prepare, in fact. So why this place is having a lot of volcano? This place, because it lies on the ring of fire. Okay. So what is ring of fire? Very easy concept. The ring of fire is a just like this. So it's a circum-Pacific belt which is home to around 90% of the earthquakes and 75% of the world's volcano. This is the ring of fire. Why this ring of fire is formed here? Because of the Pacific plate, because it is a Pacific Ocean. So Pacific plate is subducting under the continental plates which is there. So many continental plates are there. So the Pacific plate is subducting under the continental plate. So continental boundaries touching the Pacific Ocean, subducting Pacific plates below the adjacent continental plates, right? And that is why we have a lots and lots of the active volcano. For example, Japan, you can see very active volcanoes. Southeast Asia, Philippines, you can see a lot of active volcanoes there, right? So this is, as we have discussed, this is a oceanic crust which is subducting under the continental crust. So we have trench, and then we have the volcanic arcs, and that is why you can see a lot of trenches also along with the volcanoes. A lot of trench: Aleutian Trench, Kurile Trench, Java Trench, Sunda Trench here, right? Tonga Trench, Peru Chilean Trench, Puerto Rican Trench. So these are all the trenches which is there. So it is a part of your ocean continental convergent plate boundaries interaction. That's part of your static geography. Next is in the news, that is Galapagos Island. So this is the location of Galapagos Island, right at the equator. Okay. So why they are in the news? Because at this time of the month, for example, August and July and August news are there, right? At this time in the normal years, a lot of fishes happen in this Ecuador because of the Peru current, isn't it? So, because of which the Chinese fishing vessels can be seen at this juncture, and it is not a 1 year's affair, it is almost every year. And Ecuador has officially expressed its discomfort at the presence of these Chinese fishing vessels. So, basically, they are there to exploit the fishes. They have not left anything, the Chinese, isn't it? So, Ecuador is now angered, and obviously, US has put the support in the for the Ecuador, because US is now opposing China at all the fronts, whatever front they can get. Okay, so US is opposing this Chinese presence. What about this Galapagos Island? So this is the UNESCO's first World Heritage Site. It is very significant when it comes to the theory of evolution, because a lot of observations have been made by Charles Darwin at this place. He called these islands as world in itself. The name Galapagos comes from a giant tortoise which is found here, which is known as in Old Spanish as Galapagos. So from that this name has come, and obviously it has the habitat of many critically endangered sharks and all these. Not important for us. What is important for us? The location of the Galapagos Island first. Secondly, why it is in the news, and thirdly, some details about it. For example, the giant tortoise and this World Heritage Site. That itself is enough. Coming back to what is the reason behind it, the geography behind it, so that is because of the Humboldt current, or that is Peru current. So very strong Peru current is there in the normal years when it is the cold water, and because of the upwelling, right? It brings a lot of nutrients, and when the nutrients are there, a lot of marine fishes are there in this region, and that is why a lots and lots of the fishes, around 15 to 18% of the 18 to 20% of the world's total marine fishes are found in this region, the cold current. Okay, so it is a Peru current is a cold low saline ocean current that flows north of the western coast of the South Africa. ठीक है. Now when it flows there, it causes this warm water here, warm pool that is there. So it is the normal year. And what is the abnormal year called? That is, it is called El Nino. When you can see in the normal year, there is trade winds are strong, right? And when it becomes more strong, the event is called as La Nina. When only this event intensifies, basically intensifies a lot. So a lots of fishes are there, and the market crashes also because of lot of supply. Okay, so we find low pressure here, a lot of rain in the Australia, and when there is a low pressure here, you can see that is low pressure here. So for example, this is Australia. Very quickly, this is Australia, low pressure here. Then at the Mascarene high, what we find? High pressure. And when the high pressure is there in the Mascarene high, it brings good rainfall to that is the monsoon rainfall in India, southwest monsoon. Okay, that is the normal year, the normal monsoon we experience every year. But what happens in the El Nino years? Because the trade winds weaken, the weak Peruvian current is there, so the warm water stretches to this place. So now the Peruvian current is not strong. Now the pressure here increases. When the pressure here increases, obviously in the Mascarene high pressure also decreases, right? High pressure is not very well created. When the high pressure is not created, the monsoon in India also suffers. So these are the El Nino years. In very brief, I've explained you the monsoon and all. So the idea is to give you a window so that you can again go back and revise your monsoon topic. Okay, right. So because of these El Nino years, very poor fisheries are being found, because a lot of upwelling does not happen. Now we come to the locations of India. First one is the Mahatma Gandhi Setu. So it's been the news because a western flank of it has been inaugurated. So, and obviously it has been announced that the new bridge parallel to the Mahatma Gandhi Setu will be bridged. Where it is located? It is located in Bihar. It connects Patna with the adjacent district, Hajipur. Okay. So Mr. Gadkari, our highway minister, has inaugurated the other stream of the Mahatma Gandhi Setu. Now coming back to the Setus or the bridges, which is the longest bridge in India. Last to last year, from 2018 to 2020, there have been a lot of bridges in news. So we'll focus on three bridges, especially the northeastern ones. So first is the Bhupen Hazarika Setu, which is the longest one. You can see this is the Bhupen Hazarika Setu. Then we have the Dibang River Bridge, the north of it. Then we have the Bogibeel Bridge, that is this one. And the Mahatma Gandhi Setu is the third largest bridge. So keep that in mind. Okay, one other bridge is coming up by 2021, that will be the largest bridge of India, but when it comes, then we will see. For now, these are the three important bridges that we have to see. This Bandra Worli Sea Link is in Maharashtra, very famous, right? In the news we see about this. Coming back to the first one, that is Bhupen Hazarika Setu. So Bhupen Hazarika Setu is, you can see, it is also known as the Dola Sadia Bridge. So number 4, Dola Sadia Bridge, that is number 4 here. So it is the bridge that connects Assam, you can see, very north of Assam and eastern. So north Assam and eastern Arunachal Pradesh first. It is over the which river? It is over Lohit River. Few of the details that you must remember. It is a tributary of Brahmaputra. It is the longest bridge, around 9.15 kilometers. And obviously you can see the location. This is Arunachal Pradesh, right? So obviously it's very tactical in nature. This bridge, tactical asset, strategic asset, when it comes to mobilization of the troops, mobilization of the heavy tanks, mobilization of the heavy defense equipment over the bridge. So very critical. So that is Bhupen Hazarika Setu. Who was Bhupen Hazarika? Very quickly, he was a Bharat Ratna. So under music and art, he got Bharat Ratna in the Assamese language. He was also the chairman of the Sangeet Natak Academy. Not very important, but just for the sake of GK. Next is Bogibeel Bridge. So Bogibeel Bridge we can see here. It's in the Assam, properly in the Assam, in the Brahmaputra. It's on the Brahmaputra. It's a rail and road bridge. Keep that in mind. It's a rail and road bridge between the Dhamekji and Dibrugarh, two of the districts of Assam. Okay? Chalo. Next is the Dibang River, which we go more north of the north of this Bhupen Hazarika Setu. So this is Bhupen Hazarika Setu, and now we are talking about this bridge connecting the Siang and Debang. Okay, so it's a 6.2 kilometer Dibang River Bridge, tributary of Brahmaputra. It's also known as the Sisiri River Bridge. So keep that in mind. In fact, in PIB, they have mentioned it like that only. So it is Sisiri River Bridge. It is also known as the Talong and Siang, but not very important because that's not official communication. But remember, the Sisiri River Bridge is important. So they can ask you to arrange these bridges in the northeast from east to west or west to east, like that. So keep that in mind. So three bridges that we have seen, the easternmost is this Dibang River Bridge. Then we have this Dola Sadia Bridge. Then we have the Bogibeel Bridge. Important one are these only. Then we come to next topic, that is Agatti Island. So Agatti Island there is, you can see, in Lakshadweep. What's the capital of Lakshadweep? That is the Kavaratti. So Agatti Island in the news because the Supreme NGT has said the felling of these coconut trees. They have stayed this felling of these coconut trees. So coconut trees basically form a very important component of the ecology there, economy there, right? Very important industries being developed on the coconut. But because of the ecological concerns, it's always been contention whether we should cut these trees or not. Going back to the topic. So lagoon area of this island is a habitat of the coral growth and multicolored coral fishes. Basically Lakshadweep, all the islands are what? Coral islands, right? So apart from the Minicoy, it is the only island that gets the surplus fishes. So why it's in the news? Not important. When this figure is there, that means it's not very important. So it's violative of the integrated island management plan that has been created for the management of the Lakshadweep, that was headed by, or plan has been submitted by Justice R.V. Ravindran. So this plan includes holistic island development prepared by this National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management for implementation of this, and scientific approach, the sustainable development and all. Within this plan, they have set up the limit of the tree felling, but when it crosses, then the NGT has come out and said, stop this felling of the coconut trees. But it's not very important. You just need to keep in mind this thing. Island integrated management plan is there, under which this coconut tree is now state. And more importantly, the location of the Agatti Island itself is important. Next, we're going to discuss a very important issue, that is Mulla Periyar Dam issue. So set up the background of it. We have to understand the Periyar River. So Periyar River originates from Kerala. That's been finally decided by, because origin is a bit question. But now the Supreme Court has said, not now, previously Supreme Court has established that the Periyar River originates within the Kerala and finally it goes into this Arabian Sea. First thing. Then we have the Periyar Lake and the Idukki Dam that is being built upon it. So Idukki Dam is there and the Mulla Periyar Dam. So first the Mulla Periyar Dam is created, that is on the Periyar Lake. Okay. So this is the Periyar Lake, you can say, and then Idukki Dam. So Periyar is the longest river in Kerala. Source is the Western Ghat. In fact, people say that Periyar Tiger Reserve, within the Periyar Tiger Reserve, the source of the river is there. It is said to be the lifeline of the Kerala, and the power is being created by the Idukki Dam. This Idukki Dam. This Idukki Dam. And this Idukki Dam itself is very, very critical to Kerala, right? Hydropower generation, the water facility and all these things. Very important city that is situated on the Periyar River is Kochi, because now UPSC is asking such questions on which river, which city is there. I think in 2019 they have asked this specific question. And the upper part goes through the Cardamom Hill, because this is the location of the Cardamom Hill as well. Okay. And it has the one of the right bank tributary, that is the Mullayar. So at the very start origin of it, so right bank tributary this comes up and join, that is Mullayar River, and now they forms the Mulla Periyar Dam. So Mulla Periyar Dam at the Periyar Lake. You can see the Periyar Lake here, and this is the Mulla Periyar Dam. And then this Periyar River goes and then it creates the Idukki Dam. I hope the map is clear. Now what this Mulla Periyar Dam thing is. So basically this dam is created, the water from Mulla Periyar Dam is diverted to the Tamil Nadu. Okay, from this dam the water is diverted to the Tamil Nadu. Now you know that here, let us see here. Now you know that these are the Western Ghats, right? Or the Western Ghats stops here, sorry. But this area of the Tamil Nadu is the water deficient area, rain shadow area. A very less waterfall is there. So this is a drought prone region. And because of that, historically during the British time, the water has been diverted from this river to the Tamil Nadu and from the Mulla Periyar Dam, right? So this is the Periyar River, this is the Mulla Periyar Dam, and the water is diverted through canal from this Mulla Periyar Dam to the Vagai River that is there in Tamil Nadu to help support the drought prone region of the Tamil Nadu. Getting my point? So this was the lease that been signed before the independence about this Mulla Periyar Dam. Now, very quickly let us see. So this dam is located on the confluence of the Mullayar and the Periyar River in Kerala. Dam is located in Kerala, but it is operated by Tamil Nadu following a lease agreement that is being signed between the Travancore Kingdom and the Maharaja of Travancore and the Secretary of State for India, Periyar Irrigation Works. So basically long back they have signed a lease agreement because of such situation. You have to, we will create this dam, we will operate this dam, but this dam will be located in Kerala because that is a drought prone region in Tamil Nadu. Now the dispute is over the height of the dam. Now obviously Tamil Nadu wants to keep the height high because it wants a lot of water from this dam, while the Kerala says that this dam is very old. This dam is very, very old. When this dam is very old, there are the problems of the earthquake. There are problem of if the dam fails, then the safety of the people living at the downstream there, they will have the problem. If the dam fails, it will impact the Idukki Dam. It will impact the Idukki Dam. So the Kerala government contested that we need to do some repairs of it, or the Kerala government goes to the extent of saying that dismantle this dam. But in 2014, the Supreme Court has appointed a committee and the committee has said, oh, no, situation is fine. In 1970s, they have done some repair. The Tamil Nadu government has done some repair. And in 2014, the committee has said, no, the Mulla Periyar Dam is fine. but obviously it remains in use because of the height of the dam. For example, you can see the recently July 2020, the Idukki resident plea to lower the Mulla Peria dam level. Because the dam level increases, it creates the risk of the floods in the region, right? And whenever the height issue comes up, it creates a stair between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Now, as we have discussed, the water from this Mulla Peria dam is diverted to this Vagai river, and the Vagai river obviously is not a perennial river. So it is gets the major feed from the Periyar dam in the Kerala. Water from the Periyar river is diverted into the Vagai river, right, through via a tunnel. We are not reading the Vagai river. Remember, we are not reading the origins of Vagai river and all. We are just reading that the water is transferred from this to the Vagai river. Then about this Periyar Tiger Reserve, very quickly let us see that also. So Periyar Tiger Reserve, National Park and the Elephant Reserve, all things are there. First thing. Second thing, it is in the districts of Idukki, Kottayam in Kerala. This is the location. We have previously seen. More importantly, remember it's a watershed for the two important rivers. Periyar, obviously its origin is there, and the Pamba as well. Next. It is located high in the Cardamom Hills and the Pandalam Hills. So Cardamom Hills and the Pandalam Hills that are there. Okay, so these are the facts that we have to discuss in the place in news. Chalo, let's start the discussion of the questions. The first question is this year's question, 2020's question. Which of the following protected areas are located in the Kaveri Basin? Which are the protected areas covered in the Kaveri Basin? Nagarhole, Poppykonda, Satyamangalam and Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. Now this question we have already covered because we have covered this Tiger Reserve series and we have covered these things extensively, all the Tiger National Parks. Poppykonda National Park we have discussed in our current affairs as well. But that's not the point of claiming the past victories, but moving forward. So if we see the Poppykonda first of all, so Poppykonda is there in Andhra Pradesh, Poppykonda National Park. Okay, it lies in the catchment area lies in the basin area of the Godavari River. We have to see it from a futuristic perspective, so we have to prepare a lot more things. So the Godavari River and Poppykonda is there the Godavari River passes through the Poppykonda National Park. First thing, right? You can see the locations of the nearby states as well: Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and Andhra. So it's almost at the border of the states. Then we have few of the reservoirs that we have discussed last time. That is a Bali Mela reservoir. This reservoir was famous because this is the very strong hold of the Naxalites. This area. Because the tri-junction theory also, right? Whenever the three to more states meet, lack of governance in this area, and that creates a hub for the anti-national and in this case left-wing extremists because of the lack of governance in these border areas. Then the Polavaram Bridge, very famous project that is there on Godavari, which is also located here, and when it will be completed, it will submerge a good portion of the Poppykonda National Park. So if the question comes on the Poppykonda, few of the things you need to keep in mind. First, it's situated in Andhra. Second, the Godavari passes through it, and it is related to the Polavaram project. Polavaram project very, very significant and always remains in news, right? Okay. Now coming back to this Kaveri. So obviously Kaveri Basin does not lie in the Kaveri Basin because Kaveri Basin is in Tamil Nadu and this Karnataka and Kerala. The Kaveri River, very famous river from your Tamil Nadu. Kaveri dispute also everybody knows. So the basin area includes the main river and the area of the tributaries as well. So that is why basin area is quite big. Basin area means the area of the catchment area of the river, also of the tributaries as well, and that is why we have a huge catchment, this basin area of the Kaveri. Now within the Kaveri, this is the area of Kaveri. Is it the Nilgiri? This whole area is what? Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, the Tri-Junction area. When we are discussing the Tiger Reserve, and we'll be discussing a lot of the content again. So we have discussed that this Tri-Junction, very heavily forested. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is there. A lots and lots of the tiger reserves that are there in location, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserves, and very important location from UPSC perspective. Every year they have asked one question from this location, whether it be whether it be Agastyamalai Tiger Reserve, the below that, right? Whether it be the other tiger reserves such as Bandipur, Rajiv Gandhi National Park, or Nagarhole National Park, like that, right? So you can see within this Kaveri Basin, we have the Rajiv Gandhi National Park. It is the Nagarhole National Park. Then Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve. So everything is there in the Kaveri Basin. So what's the answer of it? Which of the following protected area are located in the Kaveri Basin? Nagarhole, yes. Papikonda, no. Satyamangalam, yes. And Wayanad Wild Sanctuary, yes. So answer will be 1, 3 and 4. Remember the question was basin. So basin you need to keep in mind, they are very huge, very big. They also include the tributary of the main river as well. And because of that, it is bound to be very long. And at least you should recall that Kaveri river is this river, right? It flows into the Tamil Nadu and starts from the Karnataka. So from that also you could have guessed it. And if you just recall this Papikonda, that itself is enough. So what you can do moving forward from this, you can make a small map and just prepare for the national parks and the tiger reserves that we have read till now. For example, we have done Papikonda, we have done this Nagarhole, we have done this Bandipur, we have done this wildlife sanctuary, we have Satyamangalam and Periyar. So make a map, and you can make a interactive map also, or you can make a handwritten map also, so that whatever you have done with us, you recall that only. Getting my point? And slowly you will build up the whole catalog of these national park. So instead of going all at once, just prepare the things that we have already discussed. The next question is, which of the following protected area is well known for the conservation of the subspecies of the Indian swamp deer, that is Barasingha, that thrives well in the hard ground and is exclusively gramivorous? It was a very easy question, because we have discussed about this Barasingha when we were discussing again this is a screenshot from a tiger reserve series. So we have discussed when we were discussing about this Kanha Tiger Reserve. So within the Kanha Tiger Reserve, the Barasingha, it is the mascot of the Kanha Tiger Reserve. Okay. So it was the first tiger reserve in India to introduce an official mascot, that is Boor Singh the Barasingha. This tiger reserve also depicts the forest depicted in the famous novel of the Rudyard Kipling from the Jungle Book. So the Jungle Book also mentions or takes the inspiration from this Kanha National Park or Kanha Tiger Reserve. So it's the largest national park of the this Madhya Pradesh, and we have a few sanctuaries, that is Halon and Banjar, not very important. Then largest national park in the central India, and it has the Barasingha, Indian wild sloth bear, and all these things. And obviously it's a tiger reserve, so Royal Bengal tiger will always be there. So what's the answer of it? That is very easy. That is a Kanha National Park. The question could have been tough if they have given the options such as Panna also or Bandhavgarh also, because these are the other tiger reserves that are there in the MP. Okay, in Madhya Pradesh. The next question is the Halliday Island Wildlife Sanctuary, the Shekinch Khali Wildlife Sanctuary, and the Lothian Island Wildlife Sanctuary are part of which of the following biosphere reserves? So we have 18 biosphere reserves, right? Then we need to remember each and every biosphere reserve, and we'll try over the period of our discussions, we'll try to include as many biosphere reserves as possible. For example, previously we have done Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, like before August 2020. But don't worry, we will introduce all the content that was there before 2020 again, because these are the new series, isn't it? So what is the answer? Halliday Island Wildlife Sanctuary, Sanjay Kali Wildlife Sanctuary, and the Lothian Island Wildlife Sanctuary. All these are part of a very important biosphere reserve, that is the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. So in the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, you can see it is a tiger reserve. The whole is the biosphere reserve. Within the biosphere reserve, we have this core area that is there, that is now a tiger reserve. A buffer area you can see is at a buffer area, and this is the transition area. So in the biosphere, we have three types of area: core area, buffer area, and transition area. Okay. Yes, so all the three wildlife sanctuary, that is the, just one second, this Lothian Island, which is there, this Halliday Island, that is there, and the Sanjay Kali Wildlife Sanctuary, that is there. All three are part of the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. You could have get confused between this Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve because of the um, islands and all. But recall, it is just a part of the Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve. What is the answer of it? The Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. The next question, this year's question, with reference to the Indian's Desert National Park, which of the following statements are correct? So they are talking about the Desert National Park. It spreads over two districts, no human habitation inside the park. It is one of the natural habitats of the Great Indian Bustard. So Great Indian Bustard, actually people prepare. We also taught about Great Indian Bustard, and Great Indian Bustard, we said that it is located in the Desert National Park. But we have not taken Desert National Park as itself a topic, right? So if you see the second statement, no human habitation inside the park, is it possible? Because this is again an extreme statement, isn't it? And this is what people say, the prelims tricks and all. It's an extreme statement. So if we eliminate this extreme statement, 2 and 3 is gone, 2 is gone, then answer automatically becomes 1 and 3, right? So obviously this question is framed, maybe framed like that only, maybe framed from that insight only, that you can eliminate the extreme statement, that is no human habitation inside the park. But obviously there will be some human habitation. In fact, it is one of the most thickly populated desert in the world, this Thar ecosystem. And you can recall also in India, do you think these ecosystems, there will be some places where the people will not be there, but especially with such high population density, people will be there, isn't it? The Desert National Park located in this area of Rajasthan, it comprises of some area of the Jaisalmer, majority of the Jaisalmer, and the area of the Barmer. So it comprises of it is included into the two districts, that is Jaisalmer and the Barmer. And yes, it is the last survival site of the Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard we'll read more about in the ecology section whenever it comes in. Obviously, over the period of 5 to 6 months, it will come in somewhere. Okay, so answer will be the C part, 1 and 3 only. Then we have the last question, that is Sri Salailam Dam, recently seen in the news, is constructed across the Sri Salailam Dam. Recently, news is constructed across the which river? Periyar River in Kerala, Kaveri River in Tamil Nadu, Krishna River in Andhra Pradesh, Kaveri River in Karnataka. Okay. So it's in the news basically. It's situated on the Krishna River in Andhra Pradesh. So it was in the news because a fire broke out in the Telangana Sarisalam powerhouse unit. You can see right at the edge of the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Okay, Sarisalam Dam. So, and it is situated on the river Krishna. Okay? And more importantly, remember, it's on the Nalla Mala Hills. So this area also considered as the Nalla Mala Hills. UPSC previously asked a question, I'll try to keep it somewhere, that Sarisalam, it's situated on which hills? So it is situated on the Nalla Mala Hills. Okay, so dam is constructed. This dam is constructed on the deep gorge of the Nalla Mala Hills in this Kurnool and this some other district. Okay, so this is the Nalla Mala Hills and Sri Salailam Dam. So answer is C, Krishna River in the Andhra Pradesh. So that's the end of the session, everyone. Let us quickly revise what we have done. So we started a discussion on the Milne Ice Shelf that is there in Canada and the important name of the island, that is Ellesmere Island, then Mount Senneberg that we have seen in the Sumatra, then Java, right? Then Ring of Fire and the ocean continental interaction. Very quickly we have a look at it. Then Galapagos Island, the Galapagos Island in Ecuador. Why it is in the news? Because of the Chinese fishing vessel during the time of a normal year when the lot of fishes are there in the Peru and Ecuador coast. Then Humboldt current, that is the Peru current, that is the cold current during the normal years, which brings a lots and lots of the marine resources and hence the fishes. Then the El Nino years, we have seen how it reverses and the impact on the Indian monsoon as well. Then the Mahatma Gandhi Setu, we have read the list of the Setu: Mahatma Gandhi Setu, Bhupen Hazarika Setu, right? Mahatma Gandhi Setu in Bihar, Bhupen Hazarika Setu that is there in Assam, connecting Assam and the Arunachal Pradesh, very tactical and strategic assets. Then Bogi Beal Bridge, then Dibang River Bridge, more north of the Bhupen Hazarika, remember. So this is Bhupen Hazarika and this is the Dibang River Bridge. Then Agatti Island we have read. Then Periyar River and this Mulla Periyar Dam, that issue that we have discussed. Okay? So the water is diverted from the Mulla Periyar Dam to the Vagai River. And then we have read about this Periyar Tiger Reserve as well, Cardamom Hills and the Pandalam Hills. Please recall these small cross references that are there. It will help you a lot in the mapping portion. Then the 5 questions, first was in the Kaveri Basin, which of the following protected areas are there. Then the Kanha, that is the Bura, the Barasingha. Okay. Then the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, that Lothian Island, Sanjay Kali Island Wildlife Sanctuary and the Holiday Island. Then Desert National Park situated in 2 districts. Then Sarai Salayam Dam, that is there in the Krishna River in the Andhra Pradesh. So with this, let us finish this session, right? The next session will be of the governance. I've tried to revamp the governance as well as compared to the last time, and we will see. Okay, so see you everyone in the next class. Bye bye for now. Thank you.